Here is the exact roadmap necessary so that you can double your net profit compared to 2023 results. Now, I've taken loads and loads of calls, right? Especially with my career in e-commerce, direct to consumer, running this consulting firm. The biggest bottlenecks I see is just a lack of foundation for a lot of these D2C founders, right? A lot of founders are relying on ads to grow their business. In theory, that sounds great, but as you know, ads only amplifies your business. If you don't have market fit, it's gonna be tough for you to scale on ads. If you lack LTV or the ability to increase second order frequency, ads are gonna struggle because you're not making any back-end profit because that customer's not buying back. Now, of course, there are ways you can increase your LTV. I'm not saying that can always be changed. But overall, if you have just a solid product, you should at least generate some sort of sales organically. And if you don't have market fit, then I would say look to A/B test some other products, right? And build a brand around there. But time and time again, I just see founders force their business to work or force their hand and hoping that it sticks. Whereas some other brands, right, that I'm consulting, it takes us far less effort to reach double the numbers, double the profit. And I do have to say this, that market fit is the most important factor across all of this, right? Doesn't matter what landing pages you're testing, doesn't matter what creatives you're running, doesn't matter what offers you're pushing. All in all, it just falls down to how good is your product within the market? Does it generate demand? Can it generate demand organically? And if you have organic sales, run ads that amplifies your business. But I say this to say, founders have gotten burned by so-called agency experts in the space. I don't blame them, right? You have agency owners, what do? They flash their case studies, they flash their ad account numbers, they flash their strategy, you hire them, and then they do maybe a bit of due diligence, but around month 3, they haven't really changed anything about your business, and then you're looking to replace them or fire them and hire some other expert, right? Time and time again, I see founders who work with 4 to 5 different agencies within 1 year. So I say this to say, right, the landscape of e-commerce, if you've gotten burned in the past, you've gotten burned in the past. If you haven't, I would highly say don't work with an ad agency. Because I come from an agency background. I used to run my own ad agency back in the day, around like 4 years ago. Now, the process and the reason why this is like a psyop by gurus on Twitter, gurus on LinkedIn saying, hey, this is what we're seeing, this is how we're getting results, is because think about it from an agency perspective, right? The founder who's building agencies trying to make money to provide for their family, right? That's the end goal. Same with people who start e-com brands, right? They're trying to make money to generate some sort of generational wealth for their family. Now, an agency owner has margins. They have their own net profit margins, where if they're offering a service like Facebook ads or Google ads or creatives, they have to pay a team to handle that logically, right? Because if a founder is just managing their accounts by themselves, they can only handle 5 to 10 clients. And even then, right, what I do, my approach with this is like, I'm handling all these accounts and I have an account executive. But the thing is that I love doing that because my rates reflect that. If you want my expertise, I pay X amount of money. I pay a bit high ticket so that I'm good on mine and my time is worth it. Whereas with agency owners, right, they're going to charge you 2K, 3K, even maybe a 4K retainer. If you're doing creatives, they might charge you a 5, 6K, 10K retainer, right? And the reason why they do this is because, think about it, the agency owner is trying to scale their own business. So they're trying to post content, they're trying to run ads, they're trying to send out emails, and then they're going to have a junior media buyer, somebody from a third world country, come into your ad account and run your ads, right? And that junior media buyer could be from a third world country, could be fresh out of college, or even like just graduated high school, right? I've seen kind of both elements of it. And then that junior media buyer is probably getting compensated maybe 5%, maybe 10% of the total retainer that you're paying this agency. And the so-called expertise you're getting is literally led by a junior media buyer who's never really seen accounts higher than, like, let's say what, maybe 3K in ad spend a month, maybe 5 or 10K a month in ad spend. Whereas an expert has seen every single variable possible with ad spend. They've seen the 10K a day ad spend. They've seen the 50K a day in ad spends, right? Those are the real killers in the e-com space. And you pay for what you get, but also the agency model is just rigged as a whole. A lot of founders get burned from being just basically hiring somebody who's outsourcing to somebody else. You're supposedly, allegedly paying for expertise, but then that junior media buyer is just focusing on the ad account. They don't focus on high revenue driving activities. Whereas when you work with us, like, the first thing I look at is I do huge due diligence in auditing the whole entire account and data. This is like looking at the way the pixel set up inside Facebook, looking at the actual tracking, making sure everything is in place, looking at unit economics, seeing, okay, what campaigns are active, what is our true target CPA we need to hit, and ultimately looking at the incremental lift of the entire business if we're running a specific ad. And then my goal, as well as I've always preached, is this: you need to acquire first order profit. You need to have a gross margin of at least 75% bare minimum, especially in today's economy. And then from there, we're laying out the roadmap so that we're getting top of funnel brand new customers. And as a byproduct, we're looking at other areas within the business of, okay, do we downsell these customers? Do we upsell these customers? What can we do to extend the LTV? How can we get the ratio of one customer to be a 6x return on value? Because that's how you go from like $1 million a year to like 10 million a year. Is you get that same exact customer. Most brands are at 1-to-1. They get one customer, they break even, and then from there, that customer never buys back from their business. You go a step further, you get one customer, they're buying 3x return on value. Maybe they're buying 3 times within a 12-month time frame. And you go a step further, you get that same exact customer, the frequency at which they're buying is like 6x return on value within a 12-month time frame, right? And then the next step, even from there, is like you get one customer, and it's worth 10x in return on value. So those are the mechanisms on a holistic level I'm looking at. When you're working with the agency, they are not doing that. They're not looking at your unit economics. Very rarely are they coming up with a strategic game plan that is working across looking at these channels holistically. Because you're more than 9 times out of 10, right? You're probably hiring a Facebook agency that only does Facebook. You might hire a Google Ads agency that only does Google. You might do a creative agency that only does creatives. And then from there, it's like you're lacking synergy across the board. You're lacking synergy from what offers are being pushed on the front end to even, let's say you have an email team, what offers are being pushed on the back end, so on and so forth. So it's very important that as a founder, you take control of your business. Nobody's going to scale your business. Nobody wants your business to work more than you do. Right? It's very rare you find partners that are invested into your business unless you give them a payout option that reflects that. Maybe you give them equity. Maybe then you give them a percentage of revenue tied to, let's say, a base salary, right? But majority of the time, founders are pretty much not willing to give that up, which I totally understand. But as a founder, if I'm operating an e-commerce brand, I need to take control of my business. I need to know my numbers. I need to know what's happening across the ad account. I need to know what strategies are being pushed. I need to know what offers are being created. And ultimately, I need to know the effect of these offers tied to LTV. So holistically, the brands that are crushing it either have a killer fractional CMO into their company, and that CMO is leading the war on the war strategy on how to increase profit, how to increase net profit on the front end, and then has a strong LTV with like building a community, upsells, downsells, cross-sells, consistent collection drops, expansion on, and then the founder's expanding product line. That's like the winning combination across the board is fractional CMO, has internal team in-house, and then from there you have the founder focusing on higher revenue driving activities. And then all in all, you're acquiring first order profit from your paid ads, and then you have a strong LTV on the back end with consistent collection drops. Whereas brands that are struggling have 4 to 5 different ad agencies. Each ad agency is doing their own strategy. There's no coherent plan. And then from there, the founder doesn't even know what's happening, and their expenses outweigh the net profit they're achieving month over month. Time and time again, majority of founders are in this position. So if I were to come in, if I were to fix this, get a fractional CMO, dial in unit economics, create a coherent strategy that can acquire top of funnel customers, have consistent collection drops, or look at downsells, upsells, cross-sells to extend LTV, build a community, and then dial in, focus on one single channel, let's say like a Meta, get to 10K a day in ad spend until you hit entropy. Then you would diversify into like a Google ads. You might diversify into like a YouTube ads or even TikTok ads, right? To just continually grow the top of funnel customer base. But I say this to say, right, if you're tired of getting burned by ad agencies, you're ready to take control of your business, you want to be set up for a potential exit, check out scalevelocity.io. You could read my 30-page protocol breaking all of this down to a T. And if you want to expedite the process of you getting burned by multiple ad agencies, you struggling to generate some sort of profit, book in a call down below. And thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.